The next step to our next keynote is relating not to images, but to what our panels were talking about earlier, about the branding and television world and watching media. How do we track it? So whether or not we're tracking images or tracking video or TV for brands and for consumers, next we're going to talk about the currency of TV advertising based on about 30 years of old technology. Nielsen really hasn't changed their technology in a long time. Can audience insights via computer vision deliver individual viewing engagement? Dan, come on up from TVision Insights. Dan Schiffman is going to give us a keynote. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you so much, Evan. So my name is Dan Schiffman, I'm founder of TVision. We're an audience insights company. So as I was sitting here listening to the panels today, a lot of people brought up engagement and emotion and social media, but the reality is it's very hard to measure all of these things without actually looking at the people that are watching them. So if TV, it was just described as old, but it's still the largest advertising market, not only in the world, but definitely in North America. $75 billion a year are spent on TV advertising. But the data that drives TV advertising is not what you'd think it is. It's archaic. And according to Nielsen or pretty much any of the major measurement companies in the world, all of these three scenarios are attention. That is what they consider an impression on TV. If the TV is on and no one's in the room, it's considered reach. If the TV is on and people are in the room, they're not watching, it's still there. And if the TV is on and people are paying attention, that's also an impression. But there's no way to tell the difference between those three. That lack of quality really drives today's decision making. So we're making kind of bad decisions on TV advertising because we have a lack of data to drive it. And what you really want to do is deliver an ad to the right person at the right time. But what we end up doing on TV and even some other mediums is that we deliver an ad to a group of people based on incomplete data. And like the examples I just showed you in the last slide, we really don't have data on people's attention. We have data on people's potential attention. And realistically, it's not even potential attention. It's the potential for potential attention. We know that the TV's on. We have no idea if someone's in the room. And if they are in the room, we don't even know if they're paying attention. And when you're a brand advertiser and you're looking to advertise on TV, these are the kind of metrics you look at. You look at how many people can I reach? Can I verify that they saw my ad? Are they engaged with it? What's their reaction? And what's the impact of my campaign? There's different proxies that they use to measure this, and there's different companies with unique data science that they think they can figure out how to measure engagement through tweets or Facebook posts or Snapchats and figure out if people are actually watching my ads. But the reality is, the only way to do that is to actually figure out if they are doing it. And when you're an advertiser, you want to deliver the right ad to the right person at the right time. And what I'm going to show you just after I go through this slide is exactly how we do that. So again, we're TVision, and we've enabled brand advertisers to actually validate, are these the people watching my ads? Are viewers, we verify that people are actually in the room when this ad runs? Are they engaged? And by engaged, we don't mean tweeting and Instagramming. That's certainly a further level of engagement. But just the basic level of engagement is, are they paying attention? Were they distracted? And when were they distracted? Why? When were they paying attention? When weren't they? And the reaction is the emotional component. Do they have an emotional response to my advertisement when they were paying attention to it? I'll show you a video. Is there a way you can play the video? So what we do at TVision is we analyze person-level attentiveness in the room and emotional reaction to TV and over-the-top advertising. A panel-based company, we install sensors in people's homes, but we've done it in a way where we don't have to store any images or videos. All the data we get are zeros and ones. Do I hit the next? No? Didn't work? Okay. No go on the video. Anyways, the video would, if it ran, it would go through and it would show you that we are able to analyze on a person level, are people actually paying attention? Are they in the room? What's their emotional reaction? 6 times per second per person. Emotion, we have fear, surprise, happy, and sad. And in addition, right, this industry is all based on household level data. We know how many set-top boxes we're on. We don't know how many set-top boxes we're off. But we don't know how many people were in the room. Our data is person level. When you look at digital data, it's also all person level. So because I couldn't show the video, I'm going to go through some of the really unique data we're able to capture. So Nielsen has dominated. They're the currency for U.S. advertising, really, in North America and also in many parts of the world. And what we found is, if you look at this slide, that just because a show has a high rating doesn't necessarily mean that it has the highest level of attention. So just because people have their TVs on doesn't mean they're paying attention to your ads or your programs. And this was for programs. You'll see that in a lot of older demographics, they end up having a much higher level of rating, but lower level of attention. Context matters. So there's something really unique that we can do that's very unique in this industry, is we can look at the context of your creative. So passively, right? So our panel is passive, it's running 24/7, and we can say, okay, your creative in the context of this program performed 10x better than it did in the context of this other program. Right? Your action film promotion performed way better in a comedy context, believe it or not, than it did in an action context. And we can help advertisers make better decisions and help the sell side sell inventory more effectively. Here's the concept that I love, that everyone, if you're a brand advertiser, you always talk about reach and frequency. So how many times do I have to tell someone McDonald's has all-day breakfast before they remember, oh, McDonald's has all-day breakfast? Or how many times do I have to play the tune from the McDonald's all-day breakfast ad for them to remember, this is the all-day breakfast ad? But no one's ever really been able to measure real frequency. They've just looked at frequency on a household level, and they've bought frequency on a household level. But we measure it on a person level. And just as digital is a person-level targeting platform, we're basically taking the concepts from digital advertising and bringing them back to an industry that's been archaic for the last 30 years, TV advertising. This is some interesting work we did for the NFL playoffs. We looked at second-by-second levels of attention based on the plays that were going on. When we started this business out, we had a panel of 700 homes in Boston, so this was mostly Boston-based, and we wanted to do the Patriots playoff game. So you can see that actually there was a lot of attention paid to the sacks and fumbles and punts, and also the touchdowns. And we've done this a couple times for infographics, and one of the last ones that I think may be most interesting to this crowd, and this we haven't marketed as much, and this is our smile index. And we look at how many people smiled to what portions of what shows at what times. And this slide is actually the Super Bowl. And during the Super Bowl, if you look at the upticks in the smiles, it's all during the commercials. Right? So people aren't laughing that much. They're not smiling as much during the game, but they're definitely laughing and smiling at all the interesting advertisements. And the other thing that was quite interesting, maybe we should talk to Beyonce's manager, is that the peak of smiles during the entire Super Bowl was when Beyonce came on screen with Bruno Mars. Thank you very much. My name is Dan Schiffman. Our company is TVision. Much appreciated.